I eat babies. Oh no, that's going to be clipped out of context. God damn it. Now, you may be wondering why this looks so weird. And the answer to that is because I am scared of getting DMCA'd. So I'm going to only be showing 3/4 of the book as I scroll down to make sure that I don't get hit with like copyright legislation or something like that. So the structure of this live stream is going to be, I'm going to be going through the book as like stop-starty as possible to like minimize the potential for getting ruined by courts. So I'm going to be going through this like this. And pointing out like certain things that I think the book did well, certain things that the book really didn't do well, some things that I've been taught as a creative writing student. Is that copyright material? It is copyright material. And if a representative of Wizards of the Coast is watching, I am using this in order to critique writing and as an educational thing for fair use, because the entire reason that it's on screen is because I'm showing specific examples. I've made it as unviewable as possible to like make sure that I'm not just like showcasing the book. I will jump between to make it an unpleasant viewing experience so no one can just rip this stream and read the book. So please continue not sending lawyers to my house. But we're just gonna like dive into the book. Also, feel free to like ask me questions. I do have chat open, and I'll try and answer them as best I can. Eldarazi. So yeah, we're going to go on through it. And the first bit, I'm actually, shall I? No, let's leave that on screen. It's fun. Hey, Sharp, nice. Just Twitch chat is Rakdos. Can we get a Rakdos in the chat? Okay, so I'm going to start off right here. Like, so we've got the book. It's great. I love the, hey, Jay. Oh, hey, Jay. Pleasure to see you. Yeah, so we've got the cover. Think it's fine. Love this. This is cute. Blah, 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 blah. Copyright. Let's just move past that. And let's move on to the first thing that I have a problem with. Dramatis Personae. I think that it's fine to have you seen the 3 Chandras that got spoiled? I personally really like them. I think having an emblem in the +1 is stupid, but you know, I don't play standard, so thank God for me. But yeah, so Dramatis Personae. So I come from in terms of my writing, I come from a poetry and a script writing background. In that I've written scripts, I've written poetry, I've tried my hand at prose. I don't think it's my strong suit, but I know certain writing techniques and conventions and stuff like that. This Dramatis Personae is something that you usually tend to see in things like scripts, where you have. I used it in my last script that I wrote, which was Gun Show, and I used it to like. It was a script about racism online within gaming communities, and so I had like the main character's name, what they're all about, what their age is, stuff like that. The secondary character, what their name is, stuff like that. And obviously we've got that here. It doesn't not exist within prose. That's not like it's not to say like you can't have this in prose at all. However, I find it somewhat pretentious. I can't lie. Like, for example, there are books that do have this that are quite good. For example, Karl Marx's Das Kapital. At the start of it, it has a Dramatis Personae of the capitalists and the workers, and like showcasing their context throughout history, which is quite interesting. The writer is a writer for a cartoon series. Maybe did script. Yeah, there is a chance. Like I'm not denying that at least the majority of the dialogue is pretty good, and that you tend to see that with script writers who try their hand at prose. The scene dressing is not great, but the dialogue is on point. I don't like this in this because it sets up the expectation that this is going to be a piece of like it's going to have something to do with theater. This might not like make you go, oh, this is a theater thing now. Listen, I'm a reading man. I enjoy. But yeah, so like it's not to say that this is setting up. This is what this script is. This book is going to be. It's going to be about theatre or anything like that. But as we go on throughout the book, you will notice that there are more and more allusions to some kind of theatre. And so you assume with this as like the foundation, and then we get the first chapter. No, first we get first we get like prelude, not prologue, prelude, which is more found in orchestral music and also in theatre. And then we get like all of the chat about the curtain will be raised and there'll be an encore, stuff like that. So you assume this is going to have something to do with theatre. This part is too meta or highbrow. Then no, this isn't too meta or highbrow. I think that it sets up something that doesn't have a payoff. So for this example, it sets up the notion that this is going to be theatre based, or have something to do with like some grand theatre, but that never really has a payoff. And at the very, very end, they talk about like the curtain closes, but that's like it does. And at no point in the rest of the book does it have anything really to do with theatre or performance. So this is why I'm not too keen on this. The other thing that I'm not too keen on is this Guild of Ravnica bit, which is, it's fine. It confuses it for me because I'm not entirely sure now who this book is for when I'm reading this. And we'll see that throughout the book. It like jumps between fan servicey stuff that you really only will appreciate if you know the characters and know the backstory. So bad integration of a fourth wall idea. Yeah, I'd say so. It's not heinous. It doesn't like ruin the book or anything like that. But there are moments that are, no, so not are moments. This is like an example of a theme or an idea that's set up and then has no payoff. We see this a lot actually in, I think it's like chapter, the one where Raoul looks for his boyfriend, where he starts like counting the percentages on his accumulator, I think it's called. And that's an interesting like character quirk that never goes anywhere and is never brought up again. So it's like, there's a lot in this book, there's a lot of like setting up really cool ideas and then no payoff. So this is like an example of this. I'm pretty sure they wanted to open up wider audiences but needed to pander for existing fans. I agree. I think that's what they've done. I'd say that they don't manage, by trying to appeal to everyone, they appeal to no one. What's that whole like adage of if you stand in the middle of a road, you're going to get hit from both directions. Like there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that, from my perspective at least, I don't find particularly interesting, just because it's like it's a lot of exposition, but it's also a lot of complicated exposition. Like if you were to if you were to be reading this for the first time, it would be like going and seeing not an Infinity War, I'd say going and seeing Endgame as your first Marvel movie. Like this feels like a lot of information, and I wouldn't, if I was trying to get someone into the lore of Magic the Gathering, I would much sooner start them off on something like a disconnected novella, like the Children of the Mist. Is it Children of the? No. What's the one where Davriel Kane gets introduced? Children of the something. Chat, help me out here. I'm a big dummy. Children of the Com. No, that's not it. Children of the Nameless. Thank you, Children of the Nameless. Thank you very much. As a gay man, I hated that. I think adding Raoul looking for his boyfriend is what I felt forced and no story relevance. The chapter where he looks for his boyfriend doesn't have story relevance. I think it's just nice character dressing, personally. I don't feel strongly either way. It's nice to have a wee bit of representation. It's just nice. It's that whole it's nice because like potentially for like queer people who are trying to get into the game or trying to get into the story, they see themselves in the story, they think, oh, that's cool, this is a place, a game that like accepts me. It's that is it the Muller? No, it's the Scully effect. I think it's the Scully effect. Again, that's something I saw on a Destiny stream, I think, talking about that, which is super interesting. Having queer characters doesn't need story prevalence though. Yeah, I agree. You don't like, it's not like it's like there's a straight love story as well, which no one really like had too much of a problem with, even though I'd argue like that, like how that worked out was pretty pants. But we'll get onto that. So moving on, Guild. Prelude, again, so this is... but just have diversity for the sake of diversity is not the best. It's not diversity for... So I'm not gonna like get into this whole like conversation because this isn't what like the I'm sure I'll do like a video on it at some point. But like the whole diversity for the sake of diversity is a fallacy. In the sense that like there is no way that you can have diversity that won't either be for the sake of diversity or because like it's necessary. And like there are people who say you should only have a gay character in a book or a movie or something like that if it makes sense for the story. But then as soon as you write, I don't know, a story where someone's gay and they talk about struggles that gay people face, those same people will then come out and say, no, we just like, let's not like put him in the story just because he's gay. Let's like actually give him like a character outside of that. So it is a fallacy. No one really wins in that debate or that like that conversation. It just kind of repeatedly goes around circles until you get to the point where like people go, Dumbledore's a great example of that. See, he was gay, but they didn't make a big deal out of it. It's like Dumbledore was never gay. J.K. Rowling's just like she really, really wanted just to be more relevant in the modern days. Anyway, let's move on to the prelude. Again, it's building up to the whole theatre aspect, which. It's fine. Like it doesn't like ruin the book or anything like that, but it's not. It makes it confusing because as soon as you get away from all the theatre language, suddenly like you don't understand like why all of that was there in the first place, which is a little bit blah, you know. I'm using really technical language, aren't I? As you can tell, I've got a master's degree. Okay, right now we've moved to the first chapter. We've been going for 20 minutes. Crumbs, we need to go much faster than this. Absolute total Rakdos. Right, so chapter 1, 2 dragons. Yeah, like the spirit dragon and the dragon spirit were having a little chat. This is what confused me about the book, because like if you play the game, this is perfectly fine. Like as it's explained, like who's the dragon spirit? Oh, it's Niv Mizzet and he's in his pew box. And obviously we know who the spirit dragon is because it's capitalized and Ugin is the spirit dragon, right? So as people who have played the game, we absolutely understand who these people are. But if this is your first book, this is really confusing, especially seeing as like I think he says Ugin at the end. Or he says Niv Mizzet. I don't know if he says Ugin. I think he just keeps saying the spirit dragon. Nicol Bolas, yeah, I don't think he says Ugin at any point. It's just the spirit dragon. In which case, this is still super confusing for someone like... Imagine like you're reading this book and you have no idea what's going on in Magic the Gathering, and it's the spirit dragon and the dragon spirit are having a little chat, and at no point is it ever explained who the spirit dragon is, except at the very end of the book. It's a really weird way of getting into a narrative. I'm not entirely too keen. Also... And I'm not gonna like be a pedant about all of this all the way through. When did Niv die? Before the book. We'll find out in the prequel chapters that keep getting emailed to me. Also, my next video is gonna be a really, really long one. It's gonna be like over 40 minutes long, maybe even like 50. And like I keep getting emailed these prequel novels, and I have a joke in there about like who decided that getting like I thought they would email like a link to the prequel novel, not just the prequel novel I have to read in my email. It's really weird. I don't like it. But like it's just not a good time. Probably a couple of hands. I tried to read it as someone new to the game and I was so confused. This is a really confusing book. This is like this. The thing that frustrates me is that this is, and has always been, going to be the, they said the whole, no, not the whole novel, they sent one of the stories, but I keep getting the emails of, like, the individual stories, and it's such a weird way to, like, read a novel. Like, I'm sitting there on the tube with my email open, scrolling through it. It's really, really bizarre. The endgame in Lanchi is very accurate. Thank you very much. Yeah, like, the endgame is what, so this is, supposedly, was going to always be Wizards of the Coast endgame. And the fact that like they try to push this as you can get into the story now easily with this book, it's like no this is a really confusing book. If you know all of the people in this book, which you physically can't because for example Hekara isn't introduced until like the prequel novels or the booster chapters. The fact that there are 3 different kinds of like narrative going on with the story, 4 if you count the actual cards themselves, is it's just difficult. It's just a difficult time. It's going to be Endgame till good old Nicol Bolas reappears in Core 2020. He's coming back. There's no way Nicol Bolas doesn't come back. That's like that whole thing of like we can't kill him. He might come back as a ghost. Better seal him away forever. Forever. Until we need to have another villain. Imagine being a new reader and trying to figure out who Ob Nixilis is just from the... I am talking about Ob Nixilis. Ob Nixilis is a whole can of worms, but let's just like power through this quickly. Just because we've gotten like stalled. So, really, really quickly, and you probably aren't going to be able to see all of this, but in this bit, there is Greg Wiseman has a issue with correct structure of speech within, or dialogue within paragraphs. So, for example, in this one particularly, eventually the dragon spirit swallowed hard, hyphen, or in any case unconsciously mimics that biological tech, hyphen, and stated, comma, double quotes, capital O, our plan will work, it must work. This is how I've been taught how to like structure dialogue, and I might have been taught wrong. I'm open to being wrong about that, but this is an incorrect way to format dialogue. Whenever you write speech in prose, you always start on a new line with speech. You start with speech, and then you go off from that. Not only that, you also, and I really hope this shows up, when it goes and stated comma and then capital O, no. You can't do a capital after a comma in speech. It has to end on a full stop. You go full stop, capital. That's how it works. You go speech, comma, lowercase, full stop, and then if you want more speech, uppercase. That's how that works. And the fact that this is like, this is what, at the moment I started reading this, I was like, oh no, this is going to be difficult. I'm glad I'm not the only one this bothered. Thank you. I'm like, the fact that I'm doing like a 2-hour Twitch stream where I just like talk about grammar is, I wish my old English lit teacher could see me now. When they said I wouldn't amount to anything. When they said that creative writing was a silly choice for university. Well, look at me now. Actually, can't say. The only one I remember is Miss Bolding, and she was absolutely phenomenal. I loved Miss Bolding. She was my favourite teacher. Was she? No, Mr. White was my favourite teacher. We're getting out of hand. So, he needed a beta reader for his fanfiction. I see. This is the thing. I can appreciate, and I want to say this before I get into too much criticism. I can appreciate how difficult this book must have been to write. Especially seeing as like, I think this isn't his first novel, but it's one of his. Wiseman is a lot more adept in script writing. So I can appreciate how difficult this must have been to write just from a personal perspective. But now you have the additional pressure of Wizards of the Coast going, we have a deadline for this, get it done, and you going, okay, now I have to write. But now you have the additional pressure of, oh, by the way, we've also got the art department working on the exact same story as you. We've got the flavor text writers working on the exact same story as you. We also have another writer who's writing prequel novels who's also working on the same story as you, and you have to ensure that your book matches up with his prequel novels, even though they are going to come out later and after the fact. And then on top of all of that, you have to actually like write a good narrative. I can appreciate how difficult this book must have been to write, and I'm frankly thankful. Also, Wizard told him he couldn't kill anyone. That's another thing. Like, Wizards would have mandated him to go, this is the story. We just want you to, like, write it. This is the narrative we want to tell. We just need you to, like, hang pretty words on it along the way. Was Wiseman a Magic player who knew these characters, or did he learn about them on his own? I don't know. It seems like he has a reasonable understanding of them. Some of them maybe less so, but then again, like, dude, my YouTube channel is all about Magic the Gathering story, and I don't know like a lot of the characters. When people like were saying, oh, we're going to go to this plane and this character's going to be the villain, and I'm like, who? And then people were like messaging me going, didn't you play Magic the Gathering 2014 on Steam? It's like, no. Why would no? Did you? There was a story there. It's like when people pointed out that Garrick like got his spark removed in M15, and I was like, I had no idea about that because I didn't play the the desktop, not the desktop game. I didn't play the video game for M15. With all the stuff going on in writing, where the characters acting in character, we'll get onto that. Anyway, that's like that's the chapter 1. Another issue that Wiseman does have is he does a lot of showing and not telling. Telling and not showing. For example, here, have you gone to the infamous Ugin quotes? The infamous Ugin quotes? I'm interested about those. Point them out when they come up. Yeah, I know, right? They did forget. So the spirit dragon took a little umbrage of his own. Oh no, and the dragon spirit took some umbrage with this. His semi-transparent shoulders rising, his pale red wings flaring slightly. Full stop. No one speaks to me that way. Let's take it out for the context that let's just take out the fact that the speech is on the wrong side of that sentence. The dragon spirit took some umbrage with this. His semi-transparent shoulders rising, his pale red wings flaring slightly. We're told he's taken umbrage, and then we are explained, and this is how it looks to take umbrage. Whereas realistically, we don't need that. We just need to be shown that he's like for example, it's a lot more succinct, and arguably it allows for a wider interpretation and thereby a greater enjoyment of a narrative, to say something along the lines of the dragon spirit the dragon spirit tensed his semi-transparent shoulders, his pale red wings flared let's not say slightly, we'll get onto that in a bit, like that, like when you go like that shows that you're like annoyed. And then his speech, no one speaks to me that way. We don't need to know that he's taken umbrage. I eat babies. Oh no, that's going to be clipped out of context. God damn it. Oh, I need that pen. So yeah, we don't need to be told he's taken umbrage. It's like when people say, Laura was upset. She wept. We don't need to know that. We know that she's upset because she's weeping. We don't need to be told she's upset. That's completely like unnecessary information. And not only is it unnecessary information that bulks out your narrative, but also it minimizes the amount of interpretation that people can get from their narrative. So for example, if you're told a character is feeling this certain way, you're told that specifically, there is no room for you to go, oh, I wonder what he's thinking. Oh, I wonder how this character's going to play off of this character, because I don't know exactly what's going on in their heads. But if you're told this is exactly what this person's thinking and exactly what this person's feeling or whatever, there's no room for like tension, because you know exactly how each character is going to interact, because you know exactly how they feel. And if you're told this is how a character feels, it means that like you might as well not be reading the rest of it. Like if every character was just like wore their emotions on their sleeve and was like one of those cow monsters from the Mass Effect games and told you exactly how they're supposed to be saying a like sentence, it ruins that sense of like curiosity. It ruins that sense of interpretation. So that's the reason I'm not too keen on like telling and showing. Plus, showing like allows you to create more interesting and more vibrant descriptions of people. For example, another example would be like she walked across the room silently. That's telling us that she's walking across the room silently. That's not particularly descriptive, right? But if we're told, I just read does Ugin fuck, amazing. But if we're told she instead like she floated across the room ghost-like, suddenly not only do we have like that whole like, oh, she's going silently, she's going very quietly, but she is like, we've got that link to her and like death. We've got that sort of like air of sort of like almost etherealness as she floats across the room. Suddenly we think a lot more about this character. We're told a lot more, as opposed to just being exactly described how she does something. So that's another problem that I have with adverbs, is that if you don't know what an adverb is, it's an adjective and a verb smashed together, like heartily, merrily, silently. A great piece of advice that I got when I was doing creative writing: get rid of every adverb in your writing, and you will immediately write a lot more with a lot more write a lot more experimentally, but also write with a great deal more interest. Is Ugin a big gay? What is this chat? Hang on. I look away for 10 seconds. Ugin floated across the room like a ghost ready to... Oh, Twitch was a mistake. Okay, so yeah, that's like my main problem with like the first chapter. Also, like we get more like the show will end, but the next performance will be entitled "The Infinite Reign of Nicol Bolas." It's like it's kind of pretentious. It doesn't really tell us anything additional. Who would have this chat any other way? You know what? You know what? Ugin Striptease Core 2020. If that's not a legendary enchantment, I quit Magic. I delete my channel. So yeah, like it's more of this theatre imagery that never comes back up. This is not. Stop it! Stop it! I wish I had like a spray bottle. Twitch was a mistake. You know what? I might actually do that. I am saving this. I think. I hope. Isn't Ugin naked already? Yeah. I mean, he's got like shoulder plates, I think. All right, chapter 1, or act 1 rather. Teo's introduction is fine. There's like his Teo is the best character in this novel in terms of growth, because he begins the narrative as like, I can't do anything. I am scared of everything. I can't even like put up a triangle properly. I like probably wouldn't be good to take camping. So Teo is like, he starts right at the bottom, and by the end of it, he is suddenly like, you know what, I'm defending against gods. I do that and then I get knocked out. Like, he doesn't like fully transition into like shield god, but he's pretty good at doing what he does by the end of the novel. Teo's like journey is amazing. I'm just reading my notes. Oh yeah, no, I found there are some problems that I do have in this chapter though. It's a great way of introducing Teo. I don't know if Gobakan, if that's a Wiseman creation, or I hope I'm saying that name right. If that is a Wiseman creation or not, it is a desert plain with 2 suns. We have just come from Amonkhet, which is a desert plain with 2 suns, and I understand that like desert worlds with 2 suns have been popular since the original Star Wars, but I feel like there should have been a change. I know, just have a desert world. You can just have 1 sun, Gobakan. Is it Gobakan? The Wall Boy is here to save us. Nicol Bolas is bearing down on us. I will protect you. 'Tis I, and he just gets killed by an Eternal straight away. So yeah, like, there are problems I have with this opening chapter. One of them is like, I don't think Gobakan should have had 2 suns. That's really confusing. I thought when it was like my 2-sunned world, it's like, oh crap, this guy like lives on Amonkhet and he's about to go meet Nicol Bolas for the first time. What a bad time for him. But no, it's just a different world. Some of the other issues I do have with this, Wiseman uses a lot of cliches in his writing. So, for example, you won't be able to see this, but like at the end of this line, but for once, the voice of his absolute authority fell on deaf ears. It's just a cliche of writing. Fell on deaf ears, hot like fire. Like, there are more interesting ways of saying certain things. That's just like a very minor gripe, but you'll see that peppered throughout. A big problem that I do have is Wiseman's use of italics. Wiseman loves italics and uses it for everything. He uses it for internal monologue. He uses it for word emphasis. He uses it for telepathy. He uses it to unclog the toilets. He loves italics. He absolutely loves it. And there is do you have anything against Italy? What has chat become? Hang on, what? And do you think Teo apparently? What do you think of Teo apparently being Latino? I don't. I've heard of that. I don't have strong opinions one way or another on that, honestly. It's just like a thing that exists in the game. I don't really know. But like, okay, so this is a clear textbook example of how Wiseman's oversaturation of italics within. How else do you convey your point? Good writing, don't be silly. No, like. I really, really want to stress, I appreciate how difficult this book must have been. But, like, there are still mistakes. So this particular section showcases a really, really key example of why Wiseman's use of italics just does not work. So, for example, he uses it to emphasize words. So I believe in Act 1... in the prelude... I'm not sure why I did that. But in the prelude, there is... Oh, yeah, he uses it to emphasize the infinite reign of Nicol Bolas. And he also uses it to emphasize, like, it must work or something like that. It can work. It can work. He uses it to emphasize a single word in something that Ugin says. And so he uses it to emphasize words, but he also uses it here in this opening narrative for Teo as internal monologue. The issue is he wants to emphasize the word that's within internal monologue, but because internal monologue is already in italics, he has to unitalicize the that's to emphasize it as if he were using italics, which, because it's internal monologue, immediately makes you think that internal monologue has ended, because it goes, maybe, and I thought that was going to be, maybe, that's what Teo thought as he walked through the desert, but instead it went, maybe, that's a magic that I could master. And it made me pause for a second and go, wait, what? Hang on, what, are we out? Oh no, we're still in it. And it didn't ruin my experience, but it's like elements like that which make you have to read another line, or read the line again just to make sure you didn't miss something that really like stunts your flow of the narrative. And yeah, what the innkeeper call it, plumbing. I told you, he uses italics to unclog the toilets. Like this as well. He wants to use. Hang on, this is a whole other thing. So like this use of plumbing, if you're quoting someone and you've got to like, all right. So this comes from my. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place just because this line has like 5 different things wrong with it, and I have to like keep bouncing between each different thing. JC letting you into Belair in front, so you know he's mad. My words are slightly spikier than yours. You know I'm angry. Oh yeah, he uses like bold and italics and capital letters a lot. But like this use of double quotes for plumbing, if you have speech and you're using double quotes, you need to use single quotes if you're quoting speech. That way, if someone says something like, oh, I heard Brian say that I am going to kill that dragon over there. That's what I heard, at least. You need to like put what Brian said, like, I'm going to go kill that dragon, in single quotes, because otherwise it confuses the reader into thinking that either that's the end of the dialogue, as in like that's a closing double quotation mark, or it's the start of new dialogue, in which case you have missed the ending of the last quotation mark, and you go back, you realise you haven't, and you have to reread that line again. This will take a while. I'm going through like all the fine minutiae right now, and then I'm just going to barrel through the chapters and just say some stuff that I like and some stuff that I don't. But I wanted to point out some of the glaring flaws in the majority of the writing now before I barrel through. And I've only got, as I said, I've only got 2 hours. I've got 1 hour and 20 minutes left before I have to go. But I will like blast through as fast as I can. But like in this, Wiseman needs to use single quotation marks because he's quoting. And that's effectively the spiel of what I wanted to say. All right, so like moving on from this, there's lots of stuff that I won't like talk too in depth about. Oh yeah, I will say that like ellipses are a sometimes punctuation. Don't use ellipses as often. It ruins their value. It's like exclamation marks. Like there's 40 minutes in chapter 2. Twitch was a mistake. But yeah, so there's that whole saying of if you get like 1 exclamation mark per 1,000 words, right? Because you really want to like ration out how often you use exclamation marks, because if you keep using them, suddenly they're completely meaningless. Absolute blast through. Protection for everything against Brian. What? Who's Brian? What have I done? God damn it! This is awful. I love it. I'm so happy you're calling out the writing flaws that drive me wild, and I was taught never to. Thanks for confirming my own education. I was fucking excited. This is coming from like 4 years of writing education, so I'm going to be really anal about this, to be honest. Sorry about that. So I have no idea what Twitch's policy on swearing is, but I've been doing it a lot. But yeah, you've got to ration out when you're using ellipses. It's just you need to calm down. If everything has ellipses, if everything has an exclamation mark, nothing has ellipses and nothing has an exclamation mark. All right, Chandra. Big problem with again, another example of Wiseman using show don't tell. Just the opening paragraph. I'll quickly read this to you. Chandra Nalaar, Planeswalker and Pyromancer. First off, if we're going to just introduce her like that, we don't need a dramatis operandi or whatever it's called, Dramatis Personae, if we're just going to introduce her like that. Sank deeper into the oversoft armchair in her mother's new apartment on the city of Gurapur on the plain of Kaladesh. She was anxious, frustrated, angry, frightened, and more than a little bored. Number 1, you can't be... Honest question, When is the last time you have been you've been anxious, frustrated, angry, or frightened, one of those, and at the same time bored? The only way I'm thinking of that is like if you're in a prison cell against your will and you're like, oh, I hate the fact that I've been incarcerated for stealing a melon. I don't know what the crime is, but you're in prison and you're like, dang, I hate prison, or it's very cold, but I've got nothing to do. Like that's like frustrated and bored. Bored, as in like not a man. Listen, I've got an unquenchable thirst. But yeah, like, so not only is like, are we being told everything that she's feeling, and she's also bored, which is a massive contradiction. But the only thing we're shown of her doing is like lying back on a soft sofa and just kind of going, I'm in my mum's apartment and I'm frightened, anxious, angry, scared, and also bored. Like it's really, really clunky, and this is why you need to pair your emotion with a character to their action. You can like do the opposite for juxtaposition. You can like have someone like be terrified but like start making a cup of tea, and that's like symbolic for something. But here it's just like she's lying down and she's feeling all this. We're being told she's feeling all this. You want to show that. Always show. Just have her biting her nails or picking at her hair or something. Yeah, literally. Like just like you could even say like Chandra Planeswalker Pyromancer sank deeper onto the oversoft armchair on her mother's new apartment in the city of Gurpa on the plain of Kaladesh. She hang on, just say a sip of my drink. She tried her best to not chew her nails, or like something like that. Like that's really, really simple. No, please don't please don't clip all of this. This is my darkest hour. So yeah, like that's not great. Not too keen. I'm going to barrel through this. I do have lots of notes on it, but we just need to keep going. This is all exposition pretty much. Also, this is a big problem. Because if it's for new players, you need to absolutely describe exactly what characters look like. Maybe not exactly, but you need to give them a really good idea. Because Teferi is only described as a time wizard. That's the only thing. We're not given his clothing, his hair, his staff. We're not even particularly shown like what he's doing into like how he's just like closing his eyes. We're told Ajani is a lion-headed man. Oh, sorry, the lion-headed planeswalker. He's lion-headed. That's all we're told. And so if I'm a new player, I think, oh wow, it's a man with a lion's head, which isn't what Ajani is. He's just like a bipedal lion. We're told like Jaya has like a long blade of silver hair and stuff like that. Like Jace as well. We're told he's a mind mage. When I say mind mage, like you're not allowed to answer Jace. What's the first thing that comes to your head? It's like, oh, like a Professor X looking guy, right? Or like I don't know, some kind of like evil brain wizard. But if you're told it's a mind mage, he's like a twink with an emo hairstyle and a hoodie, you're like, oh, I that's not what I was thinking, but that's cool. So like you need to describe what your characters look like. You can't just operate on the basis that like people are gonna like come up with a good idea in their own head, especially if like you've got cards that have art on them. Like you can like if a player like goes, oh, I want to find out more about this time mage. That is not what I anticipated at all. Like time mage, like the association, the immediate thing that comes up is Teferi, just because I play Magic. But I used to play like League, and like the Zeganio, whatever his name is, like the old dude, like the Zeus looking guy who's like got a command of time. That's like the second thing for time mage in my head. So that's what I'd say if someone said, oh, he's a time wizard. I imagine that. If I didn't know about like Teferi and stuff like that. So that's something you definitely need to look into when you're writing your own stuff. You need to make sure you have a clear, if you want someone to like know your character, give them a clear, distinct image in their head. We're going to move on. We've got an hour left or thereabouts. Blah, 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 blah. This chapter is fine. It's a lot of exposition. Oh, I really, really, really do like, I want to say when I like something, because there is stuff in this book that I actually do like. As I said, it's not a terrible book by any means. It's just like, there are certain things that aren't particularly great. I love that Wiseman has put in like how everybody differently planeswalks. I hadn't even thought that was a different thing. I thought like they just like went, how the fuck did you... Zelia. I haven't played League in like 6 years. I used to play Heroes of New Earth more than I played League. And I bet that none of you know what Heroes of New Earth was. It was a League clone. But anyway, so like, I love that like, what is it, like Gideon and Johnny followed in storms of gold. Gyra in a conflagration of red flame. Teferi seemed to transform into a blue whirlwind that swept him and himself away. And Khan simply vanished with a sharp metallic ping. I love Khan. I love Khan's not utilitarianism, efficiency. I love it. It's amazing. Han! Heroes of New Earth, what a throwback. It's dead now. But yeah, so like, I love that. Absolutely love that little detail. That's fun. Chapter 4, Ral Zarek. This is not good. So this chapter that's a sad thing to admit. Hey! I was a Bombardier main on Heroes of New Earth. That was my jam. That was my whole thing. I loved Bombardier. I would play him for hours. I wasn't very good, but I play him for hours. But yeah, so anyway. So yeah, this can't do it for kids. Khan won everything in the divorce. So Ral Zarek, this chapter, we don't know who Heketra is. We don't know really who, like, if you're a new reader, we don't know who Kaya is. We don't know who Lavinia is. We're at least given a little bit of context. We don't know what Vraska did. So you have the big game for machines. What can I say? I love me a production line. What you gonna bloody do? Heketra? No, Hakara. Sorry, not Heketra. Those are two completely different people mashed into one. Yeah, Hakara. So we don't know who Hakara is, and we don't find out until the booster chapters, which are all told from Rat's perspective and are just like effectively copy pastes excerpts from the novel where Rat is present. I say effectively because there is some stuff in there, but I'll talk about that in like the next video that's coming out. Not the next one, because the next one is like a vlog where I'm talking about the channel a little bit, and the next one after that it's going to be a big one. So you're going to have to bear with me for that one. I'm most of the way through recording it now. It's going to be almost an hour, I think. It's going to be nuts. Why wasn't Rat a card? I quite like Rat not being a card, because our whole thing is like she can't be seen like by most people. So I actually kind of dig the fact that she's nowhere to be seen in like the set. I actually kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie. I hope she becomes a character later on in a card. But like, yeah, why wasn't Dak a card? Why the fuck wasn't Dak a card? Anyway, so we don't know what Vraska did to betray them. We don't know who Hakara is, and we're supposed to feel bad for them. That's not particularly good. In terms of characterization, we're like built up that if I see Vraska again, I'm gonna bloody bop her on the nose and throw her in the sea or something like that. Ral seems pretty annoyed. And we're told that's gonna happen when she actually turns up. Whatever. Rat's invisibility is a mood, to be honest. Absolutely. He did nothing. He blew up Tezzeret. He did one thing useful, and he saw Domri die, which honestly, what a time that would have been. Anyway, so the only other thing that I don't particularly like in this chapter is we're told, where is it? Oh yeah, this is it. Dragon nor his minions will be able to shut it off. Hell, I can't even shut it off. If that had been written as, hell, I don't know if even I could shut it off, that would make sense. Because, like, he later just turns it off by doing the thing that Ral Zarek does. By sucking energy out of it and redirecting it elsewhere. That's his whole shtick. So, like, him saying, I can't do this. And then later on, he just, like, goes, what if I did the thing that I always do? Oh, it works! Like, it's really, really bizarre. Punk Twink gets absolutely life sucked out of him, literally dying. Oh, Twitch was a mistake. Who hasn't blown up Tezzeret? Absolutely hail to that. But yeah, like, so like, I don't like the fact that he's like, I can't do it, and then later on in the book, he just does it by doing, like, a pretty normal thing for him. Right, Liliana Vess. We've got, okay, this has a really, really good bit of writing. I love this bit of writing so much. And I want to, like, highlight bits of writing that I absolutely love. Who doesn't... Stop it. Twitch, stop it. This has to go on my YouTube channel. I'm going to have to blur you all out. It's going to be me yelling at a camera. Where is it? Oh, yes, this is it. So Liliana, blah, 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 blah. She thought she might vomit. So this is Liliana, like, feeling the presence of Bolas in her mind. She thought she might vomit. Blah, 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 blah. You vomit, he threatened, and you clean it up with your tongue. And he says that using italics, which is how he does telepathy. And I love that. I absolutely love that, because you don't think of anything, you don't really think anything of, she thought she might vomit. But she thought, it's in her head. And then the next thing that happens is Nicol Bolas is in her head saying, if you bloody do this, you're gonna clean up. He threatens her. But it shows, oh, my headphones. Oh, jeez. There we go. Whoops. It shows that Nicol Bolas, like, can access her mind at any time. That's amazing. And it's such a good line as well. I'm trying to do a Bolas voice. You vomit, he threatened, and you clean it up with your tongue. They have a majestic fella. Sexy. No! Stop! Stop finding the dragon sexy! Stop it! Right. I can't imagine how this sounds from the other room. Alright, so that's like that chapter out of the way. That's fine. It like sets up Liliana. Oh no, there's another bit that I love. Love. It was a beautiful morning. It had just rained. It had rained just before dawn, and the air was tasted crisp and clean. The sun had risen for just a few minutes, and the skies bore the colours of ripe plums and peaches. Knowing what was in store for the day, Liliana felt like crying. Really good bit of foreshadowing there. I love that. I love like this beautiful depiction of this wonderful day, and Liliana knowing what's going to happen, and the only way that she expresses it is, I feel like crying. I think maybe the feel like crying bit could use a bit of work, but that's just great. That's a really lovely bit of writing. I love that a lot. Alright, we're going to speed on through. Chapter 6, what is this? This is Teo. Oh, this is Teo waking up in... Teo is like the audience surrogate. He's supposed to be there to like planeswalk for the first time, and everyone explains to him what planeswalking is. That's fine. It makes his chapters like full of exposition in the first act for sure. Yeah. Let's listen to Ori about that. That's kind of not cool. But yeah, like so his whole thing is like he like gets exposited to. But the major problem that I have with this this particular section is Rat, because we get introduced to Rat, and I don't like how this is like. I don't like how this is. Look, this is so much writing. This is a wall of text, and none of it is relevant. The only one bit that it's that's relevant is when she mentions her centaur, who's her godfather, which later comes up, and technically her dad as well. But her dad is shown later on, like, and she says, "Oh, that's my dad," so that's fine. But like, this is like, okay, I think that was good though. I think it's fine. It's fine. This is me personal taste. This is completely on me personal taste. I really don't like just a wall of text. It's just it's difficult to read, because when you read the first one and you're like, oh, okay, well, we know about her parents, and you read the second one and it's like, well, she's just talking about the clans that she likes, okay, and you read the third one and it's just her asking her name, and it's like this. You get to the next one and it's like, I don't want to read this anymore because there's nothing here for me. This is an interesting, like, it's an interesting way of like showcasing her character that talks a lot. But there are two issues with that. One, it's not a particularly fun way of doing it. I didn't enjoy reading this section at all. Second, she doesn't talk a lot for the rest of the novel. Like, she doesn't say anything that's nearly this length. Like, her dialogue is reasonably concise, actually. Like, she says very little in the grand scheme of things. Yes, she's like in awe of Kaya, but like, this is like a really bizarre way of like characterizing someone, and then for her to go, I'll just talk normally for the rest of the book. It's I'm not too keen on this bit particularly. I think like this is the majority of like, yeah, it's just exposition, more exposition. I get it, it's fine. I think it's like a slightly organic way of doing it. Nicol Bolas says Lazav confirmed. Do you think Lazav can totally like change height? He becomes a goblin. So yeah, Lazav could totally become like Nicol Bolas. Oh no, all my exposition. Oh, it's all on the floor. But yeah, so like, I'm not too keen on all this exposition. It's probably the most natural way of like doing it, but it's still exposition, and I'm not too over the moon, to be fair. Next we move on to we get a robots reference. Can we get some robots love in the chat, please? Robots starring Robin Williams as Fender. Robot love. This yep, there we go. That's all I want to say. Don't know what I'm doing. Robots. Chapter 7. This chapter. Okay, so this okay, so blah 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 blah. Oh, hang on. I forgot talking about bloody parentheses. Please don't put parentheses in your prose unless there's a really good reason. Like, I think this is like another thing that comes from script writing. I put parentheses in my scripts. I also put parentheses in some of my poems if it's thematically relevant. But in prose, I hate it because it just makes me feel like I'm reading algebra. Like there is nothing that a parentheses does that a simple comma can't do. And like the more complex punctuation you have in your novel, the more complicated it is. And this novel has like not only does it has like parentheses, it's got hyphens, it's got dashes, it's got capital letters, it's got bold letters, it's got bold italics capital letters. It's visually very very messy. Listen, no parentheses in the chat. Why did I say that? God damn it! I'm just inviting this upon myself. But yeah, so like, don't put parentheses in. That's just my personal preference. No, Willoughby, that's horrible. Yeah, parentheses are Lazav in disguise. But yeah, like, so yeah, no, don't put parentheses in your dialogue, or no, not even dialogue, especially not dialogue. When's the last time you've sounded out a parentheses? You're awful. Okay. What's the next bit? Chapter is this? Oh no. Oh, this bit. So this is nasty. I don't like this. Like format, like having this kind of, it goes like hyphen italics. It goes hyphen italics. It feels like this suddenly becomes like a law book, as in like this is the Golgari Swarm. This is what they do. Blah blah blah. Like a D&D manual almost. When you've got like this and then that, because I just don't like this. It's formatted strangely. It doesn't feel prose-like anymore. Suddenly, it's very textbook. I just don't like this formatting at all. I think you could have done this without all of this. Also, lol at like Dovin Barn, Chandra exclaimed. How did that son of a? He's not even from Ravnica. He's from my world. I love how like. We're willing to see goddamn like ogres get sliced in half by magical portals and their guts spill everywhere, but we're not allowed to say the nasty word. Dominbar! He's a bloody Vidalcan! A bloody Vidalcan with his bloody fingers. Oh. Next we move on to the Orzhov Syndicate. Yeah. This all feels very Dominbar! Chandra say bitch. Let Chandra say bitch. That's going to be the next thing from the Nintendo Direct. Reggie's going to come out of retirement just to allow Chandra to swear in a novel. Right, we're going to move on. I think Oh, hang on. There's a bit here. Oh yeah, Jace tells Gideon to like planeswalk away. Try and planeswalk, he said. Not going anywhere. Few miles away. Yeah, so he tells Gideon to planeswalk away just to prove that we can't, and then Jace says display, and like the Azor disc, Azor Frisbee, Immortal Sun, the Immortal Sun like shows up on a screen or something, and he goes, see, can't bloody planeswalk, can we? And it's like, you could have just shown that. Like, you know how sucky it was to be trapped on Ixalan, and that's a really nasty thing to tell your mate to do. So like, yeah, I think that's kind of redundant. And also, we see later on in the novel, Dak Faden tries to planeswalk away, and the same thing happens. And it's like, Jace could have just gone, people can't planeswalk anymore. And then we see later on, Dak Faden tried and do that, and it's shown that people can't planeswalk. And now we're like, oh, we're reminded of that. Okay, that makes sense. That's what happens. Seriously, how would the citizens of Ravnica not realise Planeswalkers exist prior to War of the Spark? I think on Ravnica, most people kind of do know that Planeswalkers exist. Oh, not most people. A lot of people do know. I think there was a bit in like the hall where Gideon goes, "Well, now we're out in the open. You know we exist." So like I think people do know. A large amount of people do know. Ravnica has always been like the crossroads. Ravnica's the bloody crossroads, isn't it? Ravnica's the crossroads of like the multiverse, effectively. Everyone goes there to go elsewhere or whatever. It's a huge city. Everyone knows what Planeswalkers are. I don't know that everyone, but definitely more than most other planes will know what Planeswalkers are. Right, chapter 8, Gideon Jura. We're gonna have to like barrel through these. I might, if we get to like, I'll go for half an hour, like chapter by chapter, and then the last half an hour, I'm just gonna go hit the major things. Gideon Jura. I don't remember him being this much of a meathead. Like I genuinely don't. He did do like cool stuff. So I'm like really confused as to why he's been presented in like a kind of like a I just wanna stab him. I just wanna bloody stab him. Like I swear that wasn't his character. I'm open to being wrong. Until the mending happened. The mono white is planned the Ravnica hand. Dominaria is the nexus before the mending. Oh yeah, yes. So Dominaria wasn't. I think still is like the central plane, but because of all like the war and also with like the time holes, people are just like going, oh. Let's just go to Prague instead. It's just slightly nicer. So yeah, I didn't realize that Gideon was a bit of a fool. There's this bit. Where is it? Oh yeah. A loud sonic boom and a rush of dry desert air from behind them nearly knocked Gideon and the others off their feet. You don't need to say it's a loud sonic boom. Sonic booms are almost by definition reasonably loud. Like it's like saying a blast of hot fire. It's like, I mean, sure, like it is hot fire, but that is hot fire. I want to go to like a Don't Flop gig now and just that's quite hot fire, my guy. Love it. Big sonic boom. Dovin bar. It's just more A's every time I say it. So yeah, loud sonic boom is kind of silly. Not too keen on that. Dak Faden, he's just Dak Faden's here. I absolutely love how Dak Faden like appears in a purple puff of smoke and then just falls on his ass. That's amazing! And of course Dak Faden's gonna be the planeswalker that ends up doing that. Of course Dak Faden's gonna do that. And I love that it adds that little like touch of additional like lore where he's going like, do other planeswalkers like keep doing this? And he's just so inept, and I wish he didn't get killed. It's really upsetting. But he just like pisses about on the rooftop for a bit. There's really nothing that we learn apart from like we learn about his character. That's fair enough. I do like his character in here. It's raining wet water. Oh, there's that whole thing of like, is water wet? And I don't want to get into that because I'm going to be here for months. So yeah, he's on the rooftop. He sees like the hole. That's fine. We learn about his character. I think that's a fine chapter. Shanta didn't know what hit her. I hate the fact that no one died in the portal. I think someone should have died. Sorry. The giant that got like sliced in half, and anyone who happened to be in the portal would have died in the portal. But none of like I maintained that like one of the people there should have died. I think Jaya should have died. I think it would have just upped the stakes. It makes like suddenly it's like, oh, this story, people could die. I know that it's probably like mandated that someone couldn't die, but I just wish that wizards were a little bit braver with like killing people off. Water is water. I know we just got Jaya back, but like, I'm trying to think like, and you know what? I would have liked Ajani to die actually. In that, if I had Jaya, Ajani, Chandra, or Khan. I think Ajani. I think Ajani just bites it and everyone's like super like shook because it's like Ajani's dead. Like the guy who like heals everything and makes the world a better place is just gone. Like imagine how like heart-wrenching that would have been. It would have been like a Sirius Black in the hole in the portal. the Veil of Souls, it's the Dark Souls of Harry Potter deaths. Him. I think Ajani could have died there and it would have been super, super cool. Ajani just fucking died. Oh shit! Just Khan's like, whoo! He loses it. He just starts punching stuff. Yeah, Ajani should have died here. What is this? This is chapter 10. Chapter 10. People should have died. Yeah. Yeah. We get like we've got so many different types of italics going on. Also, this is a thing that I think is very prevalent throughout the story. There's very little in the way of communication apparently between, or at least was between, the author of this book and the like the art direction, the story designers, like the story makers of like the actual set itself, the flavor text people, like maybe even the prequel people. There's very little in the way of communication because, at least from my perspective, there are like 5 cards that show the portal that the Eternals come through, and also like the guild hall afterwards. You're being very robotic right now. Oh, am I? Oh, hang on. Oh, you mean because I was Khan? Damn it. Unless of course I've crashed. Have I crashed? Oh, I'm good. Sweet. Cool. No doubt. But yeah, so like, where was I? I would spell Dunbury. Where was I? Oh yeah, we see like, so like, for example, in Ravnica at War, and in the one where like the Eternal Army, like Enter the Eternals or something like that, and the one where like Enter the God Pharaohs, stuff like that. We see the portal and there's just nothing. There's just no building there anymore. It's gone. Then in Emergent Zone, there's a bit of the building stuck behind it. And then in the art of the actual guild hall after the fact, it's just like, it's actually there. I feel like there should have been more communication between people. Also, Wiseman says that like half the building goes away. Or something like that. Like, oh yeah, no, earlier on, he says, half the guild hall just got blown up. It was absolutely decimated. And like, to decimate something is to remove 1/10 of. So it can't. That's super pedantry though. That's like, that's really neurotic. But yeah, like that's super neurotic on my part. 11. Funny Stranger Things meme. Nicol Bolas is just gloating. That's all it is. We get a bit of his motivation, I think, right? No, we get what his goal is, to be a god. That's all we really get from that. And just him gloating. That's pretty simple. A lot of these chapters do feel like they're here just to remind you, like, hey, this person's still in the book, by the way. If the guild hall being destroyed stops the guild pack, someone should have told Nikia. Don't know that. I wish Nikia was actually I wish Ilhog was in the book. Ilhog just doesn't show up. Like, that's notable, right? Like, if there's a big ball going around, someone's gonna be saying it. Bola starts spitting rap god. Don't bring that trash rap into my Twitch chat. How dare you? I'm just doing that for more interaction because I know you're going to yell at me. All right, chapter 12. I like all of the guild pack stuff. I like how he explains it. And he's like, yeah, welcome to the needle drop. Let's argue. Spiceny Ractano here. So yeah, like 12. I'm going to use that for the next video. Actually, that's quite fun. So yeah, like I like how he explains how all the guild pack stuff works. How he's like, I've got to interpret the lore. So yeah, not as in LORE, but LAW. I like that. I think that's cool. I think that's fun. I also like how he says, like, I will have to, like, sentence Gideon for it, but I'll just give him, like, community service. Jace is a stooge of the authority. He has a monopoly on violence. Jace is the state. Crush Jace. Anyway, yeah, so I like that. I also like Bolas, like, laughing in his head. Someone in the back of his mind, Jace Beleren, could hear the dragon laugh. And I'd just like to imagine that it's not like a... It's more like a... or like a gnome. Someone is out of the wall somehow. God, I hate that line. Right, just barreling through it. Gideon Jura. What did I write for this one? Oh, hello, Epic Nussix. Nothing. What did I write for this one? 13. Oh, yeah, he says, like, nothing organic can pass through this. And then later on, people were like, oh, like, organic stuff can go through, but it needs a spark. And that's a big retcon. Like, I thought, right, and I talk about this in the video that I'm making. I thought that someone should have an anime princess laugh. I completely agree. Oh, pardon me. I thought that the entire reason that Ugin, Soren, and Khan were going to be on Ravnica, right, was because they could go through the portal. Like, Khan is made of metal, Ugin is a spirit dragon, Soren, yes, he's made of organic material, but he's dead, and I could probably buy, like, oh, if you're dead and you have a spark, there's a bit of leeway there, or something like that. Maybe he comes out with a sunburn. But no, they just send, like, mortals through. They do send Khan, which is the one I expected, but, like, I don't know, that seemed, like, really, really bizarre. Your permission to use that previous laughter to make it... Yeah, no, use it. Use my stupid laughter. Nothing bad, please. No bad bars. You must send it to me, and if I think that your Maltese are whack, then you're not allowed to post it anywhere, and I have to take your car. What chapter is this? 13. Oh yeah, nothing organic can pass through, and then organic stuff passes through. Sweet. If only inorganic matter could pass through the portal, there was no realistic way to turn off the portal. I mean, like, you could have had, like, I don't know, Saheeli makes everyone, like, those time suits that's in Endgame. You could have had something like that. You could have... I like to imagine, right, the portal opens, and, like, Khan falls through and just lands on Tezzeret and kills him, and then the portal closes again. I would have thought that would have been absolutely hilarious. Just like, aha, at last, mate. And he just gets absolutely wrecked. Right, let's move on. 14. Make Duretti's wheelchair stop Tezzy. Yeah, Duretti just... I wish Duretti was there, but then again, I'm glad that Duretti didn't get injured because he is my son and I love him. 14. More just explanation. This is just like Liliana thinking about herself. It's very whatever. 15. Fainting. Fainting is engaging? What? Oh, the fighting is engaging. God, hang on, I just want to show. This is what my handwriting looks like, by the way. This is what we're dealing with. I have god awful handwriting. There's so much stone in Ravnica. Why didn't we just throw a wall through the portal? Keep fusing elementals and turning it into stone. Rinse and repeat. It's the best strategy. Yeah, it's pretty bad. My dad's a doctor. So he's not. Yeah, so the way that fighting is written is really good. I find it really engaging. Brian could have got through the portal. I believe in Brian. No idea who he is, but I believe in him. So yeah, the way the fighting is written is super engaging. I think like Greg Wiseman really shines when it comes to like describing combat. Genuinely, I found myself really, really intrigued. Sometimes he does say like so and so was fighting alongside so and so. It's like you can spice that up. Yeah, you can spice that up a little bit, Greg. Come on, Greg. Pop a little bit of turmeric on that one. Let's go. Let's not just say fighting, please. I talk about that in the next video as well. I keep hyping up the next video. I better make it. Blah 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 blah. Yep, that's fine. 17. So yeah, that's fine. 17, 16. Oh, okay. So this is a point where I realized like when we by nature of like the themes of the book and the movie, you can't not compare Infinity War / Endgame to this book, right? And like Infinity War had lots of really interesting character moments that you might not expect. You had Thor and Rocket Raccoon, not Thor and Rocket Raccoon, you had Thor and Star-Lord, but you also had like Steve America and Captain America. Damn it. You also had Captain America and Groot. And like you had these little cute moments that are really, really interesting and like and fun and like make sense within the characters. And you don't, god damn it, Steve, I shouldn't have said Steve America. And you got, and like in this book, we don't really have that many. Like we've got, like Lazav is amazing in this book. I love Lazav. Lazav is my favorite legendary creature from Ravnica. I love Lazav in this novel, and I hope we get to him by the time I have to leave. But like, for example, the reason why I bring this up is because in this section, the one bit we get is like, Ral Jace like sarcastically semi-flirts with Ral. It's not really flirting, it's more just like, oh, you do care about me, which like is like I'd say is like sarcastic flirting. You can flirt platonically, I maintain that. But yeah, like it's like I don't think we have that much in the way of like actual genuine character to character moments in this book, which is upsetting. 17, Vraska's just on a boat. I don't like Vraska in this novel. She's got like some really, really weird like, okay, so probably we're not going to be able to get like friendly banter. Yeah, like friendly banter. Although banter has horrible connotations. But yeah, so like Vraska in this book, so she starts out before the book, she's in Bolus's control, but then Zadex restores her memory before the events of the book, but she still kills Isperia and betrays Ral, even though we're not told how she betrays Ral. And she does it all with her own like cognizance. And the reason that she says it is because effectively, I couldn't help myself. I just wanted revenge and stuff like that. And then she's forgiven. I think that's garbage. I'm really confused as to why she had her memory unwiped even. It's like, I don't get it. Like, it doesn't, like, if you're just going to make her do all these horrible things, why make her memory be unwiped and then not give a legitimately good explanation for it? It's really confusing. I feel really sad that with what's happened to Vraska in this book. Wait for the email in 2 months. Oh no. The book retcons so much. The book retcons a lot. Although I will like say that I think like I did get the when I said like the more immortal sun can only be activated with the sacrifice of a planeswalker spark, it was created with the sacrifice of a planeswalker spark. I don't think it's said that it can only be turned on with a planeswalker spark, so I did get that wrong, I'm pretty sure. Although it's neither confirmed nor denied, I'm pretty sure. 18. Liliana, yep, she's just rationalizing. It does. This is like another one of those chapters which is the book PDF free now? No, I don't believe it is. So this is another one of those chapters where it's like, although the booster chapters are pretty much just the majority of the book, provided it's a chapter that rats in. So if you want to read like the actual what's actually written in the book and you don't want to buy it, the booster chapters are a good place to, or you can't buy it. The booster chapters are a good place to go. Vraska is still the best though. I absolutely you have a Gorgon on side, she would fight for you. I agree. No, I think that Vraska is a fantastic character, and I'm upset with how she's been treated in this novel. Liliana. So this is another chapter which is one of those like, they're still in the book. Remember that. One of those chapters, but it showcases her character. It shows her rationalizing. It shows her like law mail. What's a law mail? Would you like the law? Oh, it's the stories. Oh yeah, Voice of All is doing the audiobook, the unofficial audiobook of it. As is Coach MTG, I'm pretty sure. He's just done like the entire history of Dominaria. Not just, he did it a couple of weeks ago. Check out there if you're thirsty for lore and you want to like hear it actually like play by play. Absolutely go check their channels out. They are phenomenal. They're doing like much more like intense work than I am. Stop shipping everyone, please. Mail about Steve America. God, this is a mess. I love it. So yeah, this is another chapter where it's reminding you, but it shows you her character development. So I don't mind this chapter. I think it's quite good. I like how she's still rationalizing. 19. I like the Teo rant gag. What is that? Oh yes. Teo rant. Push that one this way. And like Teo, what happened was in the midst of battle, Gideon like asked him, "Who are you?" And he went, "Oh, I'm Teo and Rat." And he obviously didn't see Rat, and so he just thought it's like, "I'm Teo and Rat." It's like Teo and Rat, come over here. I love that. That's a really good character moment. Makes complete sense for the actual like story, and for the moment for that gag to exist. I think that's really, really well done. I love that gag. I genuinely laughed when I read that gag because I can just imagine going like in the midst of this battle, Gideon's just like stabbing things with Blackblade and beating them down with his shield, and he turns and goes, "Teo and Rat, come here!" And Teo is just like, "Oh, it's just, you know, all right." And then he puts up a shield. I love it. And then it's ruined by the parentheses. You're quite correct. A parentheses is a comma for mathematicians. Just use a comma, my dudes. Blah 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 blah. Teo and Rat. This is majority exposition, but again, it makes sense because Teo doesn't know what's going on, so I dig it. It's still exposition. Teo was responding with "he squeaked." Is also a good follow-up joke. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think like there are moments of good stuff in this novel. It's just frustrating that a large portion of it is like it just doesn't quite it's so close to being good. 27. That's not right. 20. Nope. Wait, what? Oh yeah, Dag Faden. We don't get any new info here. He's just hanging about on the roof. We literally get no new information here. It's just this is a chapter which is just to remind you that Dag Faden's in the narrative. That's literally all this is. 21. Vivian. Oh, so this is where Vivian turns up. I'm not sure about Vivian's character in this because she shows up and is like, I wish to defeat Bolus, and then she never goes for him. Like she never even there's never even a point when she's like trying to shoot him. She never does anything with Bolus or to Bolus or anything like that. It's really kind of weird. She does use her arc bow on Liliana. I don't know why I did that for an arc bow. Yes, aha, my bow gun. It's just a normal gun. But she uses her arc bow on Liliana during the failed assassination attempt against her, and I find it really confusing why she doesn't just shoot Bolus. I want to kill Bolus. I'm not going to do it though. It's really, really bizarre. Especially seeing as her whole thing is in the last days of her civilization, in the last days of her entire home world, all of the major scientists and I was about to say herbivores, but that's not it. Nature mages gathered together to create the super weapon to kill Bolus, and she never even tries to use it on him. It's really, really weird. Who is Brian? Where did Brian come from? The greatest spell of all, gun. Oh, when there's a Wild West gunslinger subtype. I like but yeah. Also Aurelia shows up and gives Gideon his horse, which is called Gideon's Promise. And Gideon's Promise dies trying to save the world. It's right. The book's right there. It's just what subtlety is dead. But yeah, we are Brian. We are Legion. We will not forget. We will not say any other name. 22. Well, what notes have I written? I like the fact that even in the midst of the war, the Selesnians are still no, we straight up don't trust you. You're an Azorius. We don't trust you. Get out of here. I love that. I think that's great. Whoop. What just happened? Am I still on? My entire screen went, not my entire screen, but all of this went dark for a second. Okay, good. Wow, that spooked me for a second. Every part of my screen just went boom. It's oh God, spooked by technology. I keep a revolver next to my printer in case it makes a weird noise. Yeah, so I like how the Selesnians are still super not chill with the Azorius. There's a great bit. But Chandra noticed the Towering Eternal. Oh, she barely noticed the Towering Eternal. All the chaos in its wake. Nissa Ravine was her entire panorama. That's cute. And nice, nature language. Chandra's eyes filled with tears, although she was already burning so hot that the tears instantaneously turned into steam. I've just got an image in my head of just Chandra going... and just kettles come out of her eyes. It's such a weird phrase. Personally, the stream's frozen for you. Oh, hang on. I'm walking to... Oh, okay. Yeah, it's amazing. What a weird way to... I know what he means is they hit and it's... But he could have just written that as the tears fell on her cheek, they hissed in the heat of her hair. But we're just some kind of weird Popeye gag. And yeah, I absolutely ship Nissa and Chandra. I wish they had their kiss at the end and not goddamn Jason Vraska. Vraska did not earn a kiss. Chapter 23. Oh yeah, so this is the chapter where Raoul looks for his boyfriend, doesn't find him. That's it. Fine chapter, but this is, again, remember when I said he counts his percentages on his arambulator. Ambulator. I can just look it up. It's right here. It's somewhere. You know what? Nah, it's an ambulator. I know that's not the right word, but it's going to annoy like hardcore Vorothians. I also can't speak. Yeah. So 32%. So like he's counting the percentage on like the tank he has on his back, and that never comes up ever again. I thought it would. I thought it would be like I'm in the battle, and oh no, I'm on like 2%. I have one more shot. Oh, pew! But no, it just never comes up. It's just a quirk that Wiseman gives him and then takes it away. 24. We're getting through them. Yeet. I like Kaya and Teo and Rat. I think they've got a really good dynamic. I think that I completely buy their relationship. Oh, there's a bit. Here it is. So I don't know if you can see this. Yeah. So never heard of Gatewatch. Not before today. Not entirely clear what that is. So that's Teo asking, not entirely sure what the Gatewatch is, but I've heard of it. And that's put in single quotes. So Wiseman knows to do that within speech, but chooses to not do that outside of speech, which is infinitely frustrating. As someone who's like, I spent like my master's degree was spent like going through each single like line of my master's, ensuring that I was getting everything grammatically correct because I wanted to graduate the university and go on to do like something cool, and ended up yelling at another man's like work on Twitch. Oh wow, I've got an existential, dang. But yeah, like and so like I'm really in tune with that, and seeing like the fact that Wiseman knows how to do this, but only in speech. Yeah, clip what? Oh no. Why, dear. Can you just clip people's streams? I don't know how streaming works. I'm really confused. But yeah, so like I buy it. Kaya's debt thing. Oh yeah, Kaya has like a debt thing. She's got like all these Orzhov debts stapled onto her, and they're supposedly really heavy, but that doesn't really come up at all. Like she's gone, oh, it's a bit bloody heavy, but they don't really come up that often. And it seems, and again, another thing that's been added and not really thought about through all the way through. And I thought it was going to be like this big thing. So like she's set up, oh, I've got all these debts on me. It's harder to move. And in this chapter 24, she's like, I'm going to call upon my debts to shoot all these Eternals. And I thought, okay, this is leading to something. And then nothing happens really. So not entirely sure about that. That seemed a bit of a missed opportunity. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I think that Jace's presentation here as someone who is a victim of a emotionally abusive relationship is spot on. Well, like not spot on because nothing can ever be perfect, but like, where is it? Oh yeah, like the whole thing of like he's during this war like trying to think, I did love Liliana, but she's manipulated me. But part of that's my fault, surely, right? But she deserves it. And he's really trying to grapple with his abuse, effectively, his emotional abuse at the hands of Liliana. I think that was done really, really well. I really like this bit is like really, really well written. I think it's excellent. But damn it, I do still care about her. She deserved it after all the crap she pulled. That's on me though. I miss her. Just this guy is tormented, my dudes. What a bad sad man. So yeah, like I love that bit. He then gets like jealous of Gideon for some reason. He's going like, I need to take charge more. And then Gideon just flies by on a Pegasus, and he's like, oh piss. Oh, hang on, is this the bit? Oh yeah, this is the bit. So okay, so this is where the Parhelion 2 comes along, or Parhelion 2, whatever. It turns up, angels flying out of it, fucking people are just going everywhere. It's a big old war. And then he sees Vitu-Ghazi coming along, and the Parhelion. Where is it? It's like Parhelion 2 like begins. The Parhelion 2 turned towards Bolas. Its mystic cannon ready to fire, but waited for the signal. We're gonna see the Warhammer anvil shoot the flat dragon. This is going to be amazing, but it's waiting. And then like Vitu-Ghazi comes along and pulls down the statue, and it's waiting still. And then everyone's cheering, and like the tide is turning, and the Parhelion cannon is still waiting. And then the God Eternals turn up, and the Parhelion cannon, quote unquote, where the bloody heck is it? I hate this so much. Where is it? Aha! The God Eternals advanced. The Parhelion 2 fired its cannon, but to little effect and was forced to retreat. That's it? That's what we get? We got like the laser light love cannon, whatever it was, about to fire upon them, and then like it just shot. We're not even told like who it shot. Like it just says it fired, but to little effect. I don't know if that was at like a bolus, or if it was at the God Eternals. We don't see either of them reacting, and then it's just in one sentence it fires its cannon, sees there's no effect, and then retreats. That's so much drama. Like the firing of the cannon should be like, yes, let's go. They see it has no effect. Oh no. The Parhelion like begins backing away. People begin filled with dread, and then the Eternals advance, and that's not even the end of this chapter. The four dead gods quickly surrounded the elemental. They beat Vitu-Ghazi. Rohonas tore out one of its arms. Nissa screamed and relinquished her control. The elemental collapsed, inert. That's four like god zombies fighting Treebeard, and it's done in a paragraph. I don't understand. I really like this. This was such a big build up, and then it's all done. Like both of those happen like in the last like 5, 6 like paragraphs of this chapter, and then it's just done. It's really bizarre, and they don't die to solar blaze. Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm not arguing that it doesn't work from a mechanical standpoint. Although like I'd have to see like if all of the God Eternals survive solar blaze, but regardless, like it's just like from a narrative standpoint, that's a really, really weak way of like culminating that. Yeah. 26. Teo's exposition. Yeah, so this is more Teo exposition. He's like meeting all these people. He's meeting merfolk for the first time, which is quite cute. Okay, so Marin is it Goblin? I don't understand why it's not Mizzix. Mizzix of the Ismagus. That seems like they're both goblins, and it just seems weird that we have this cool character and we're just gonna put another person in. That seems strange to me. Domri is not at all like, I have no idea what Domri's doing. Domri is not. What have I written? Domri is not clearly on Unity. Oh god, what have I done? Domri's not clearly on Unity. I don't know what I've written. I literally don't know what I've written. Is the stream? Is the stream alright? I heard F. I saw F. I know that's a meme. Oh, stream is good. Okay, thanks. I'm going to keep asking that because I'm really, really paranoid. But yeah, so like, okay, so Domri is Blair. But here, Dak Faden, we're reminded that he exists. We're shown Domri getting killed. And we've got like the parentheses again. Alright. So this is the bit that really annoys me. Hey! Oh no, that is it. He's not using the two-headed spear thing. He's using a scythe. So I don't know where that comes in terms of the art. I think Greg Wiseman might have just forgotten about that. Okay. So, hey, dragon! I am Domri Raid, champion and master of the Grohl clans. You and I should be talking, mate. How about I swear allegiance to you and yours? We'll burn Ravnica to the ground. And like then he gets murdered. But he's like in this moment, he's not an anarch. It's like this is the moment when he apparently pledges loyalty to Bolus, or like pledges for the first time or something like that. It's really unclear as to like what his relationship with Bolus is. But he's not an anarch. He's like that like the whole precept of anarchism is that you don't follow. You are like there is no like leader. There's no like hierarchy. It's a super horizontal power structure. So him going like, I'm gonna I swear allegiance to you. That's not anarchism. That's just regular like what do you call it? Stoogery. That's nothing. But yeah, like that like amused me. The fact that like Bolus is proclaimed anarchist, and he works for Bolas, so can't be an anarchist, and B, gets killed like 4 seconds after swearing his allegiance. I like how he gets turned into a grape, though. Right, we've got 20 minutes. We're on Act 2. God damn it. All right. Let's just blast through it to like the big things that I don't like. So, Nicol Bolas. We now have italicized capital letters. That sucks. Don't like that at all. Yeah, that's very silly. Oligarchy. Yeah, is that what an oligarchy is? I need to it's been like 8 months, or no, it's been longer than that. It's been like a year since I've like actually gotten into like understanding what politics is, so I'm still learning what all the words mean. I learned the other day that anarcho-monarchists are actually like there are people who truly believe in that. That blows my mind. I want to meet a anarcho-monarchist. I want to meet and have a conversation with that person, because that sounds really weird. Rule of a few of oligarchy. Wouldn't it be more autocracy then? Because autocracy is the rule of one, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong on that. I'm over to being wrong. No, you really don't trust me. Oh yeah, no, I'm sure I don't. But I kind of wanna. It's like that whole I don't want to eat an entire tub of coleslaw. But what if I did? Like that whole thing. Oligarchy, anarchy. Yeah. Autocracy stuff. Oh, fair. I didn't know that. Autocrat. Oh, so no, Bolas. So what's single rule? That's fascism, isn't it? Oh, let's not even go into that. Oh, hang on, that word might get me censored on Twitch. I don't know how that works. Anyway, who knows? Let's move on before I have to go. All right, so yeah, we've got italics and where is it? Yeah, so we've got italics and capital. Autocracy is the rule of one. Absolute monarchy, spice rack is the rule of one. Okay, absolute monarchy. And yeah, he's an emperor, so he's an imperialist, or like that's his plan. Yeah, I could see that. Anyway, it's kakistrocracy. That's the one where that's the rule of the stupid, which I loved. You're about to get panned real hard. Oh no! My first Twitch. Yeah, God. So we've got capital God here, in italics. I don't like it. I don't like how Bolas's powers extend only to being able to speak in capital letters now. All right, Kaya. Oh, hello, by the way, everyone. Oh, the Viashinu death. I love the Viashinu death. It's the worst. Okay, so Bolas eats Domri Spark, begins the Elder Spell, whatever, and everyone's like, "Oh, something's changed." And then this Viashinu. Suddenly, a large Viashinu with lime green skin materialized right in front of us, surrounded by a distinct gold aura of a planeswalker. He had just enough time to hiss, "What is this?" before a female Eternal grabbed him from behind. The Eternal had no weapon, used no weapon on the lizard man. Nevertheless, what followed was pure horror. The Eternal seemed to draw the Viashinu's spark right out of his back. This Viashinu, turns up and gets just straight up murdered. Murdered. It's bizarre. The reason why we get scared when we see horrors happening, like the horrors of war in a narrative, or like some kind of evil spell wizard, is because we get to know these characters, and we're like, oh, I hope this character doesn't die. But if you're just gonna literally introduce a character literally for the sake of getting murdered in the same, hang on. It's the same paragraph. It's not quite the same line, but it is the same paragraph. F for Fiashino, absolutely. It's like, how? How do you expect people to be scared by that? Because it would be like, I don't know, you're trying to convince someone like guns are scary or whatever, and you go, see, and you you just shoot a gun off into the distance, and just some like bird in the forest just falls over. It's like, bloody cared about that bird. It's like, well, okay. I mean, you shot a bird. I've got no but if they train it on someone you love, it's like, whoa, calm the fuck down. What the fuck are you doing? Obviously, if you've got friends who shoot birds, just randomly in the woods, tell them to stop. It's mean. Birds ain't done nothing wrong. 30. 30. Oh yeah, and then the same thing happens again, but there's a I think Bolas gets a pentakill here. Hang on. Oh yeah. Who was, so you saw so many planeswalkers fall. Who was that Videlkan? Who was that tall elven woman? Who was that four-armed ogre? Who was that very short green man? Or that ancient crone or frightened teenager? Oh, it's not a pentakill, it's a septakill. Bolas is on a roll. Yeah, and that's it. He's just Wiseman is literally throwing OCs at the screen and saying, look, all of these people are dying. Just look at it. Look how many deaths there are. And it's these aren't deaths. These are just These are like amorphous blobs in the distance that are falling over. Yeah, and I'm actually going to take this time because we've only got 25 minutes or 15 minutes left before I have to run off. God, I wish I had more. Maybe should I do like a part 2 of this? Would people be interested in watching a part 2 of this? Actually, I'm genuinely quite curious. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, because like I wanna. He's killing the extras. We need scene filler. He's killing all of them. Yeah, like there's stuff that I've wanted to get through. I've only just got to Act 2, and I'm really enjoying actually streaming. This is really fun. I love actually talking to you guys like this. This is really, really cool. Somebody has to fuel the elder spell. Somebody has to stay behind and water the elder spell. But yeah, we need a Kithkin Planeswalker. Absolutely. And it should be a relative of Gaddock Teague. I've made my case. But yeah, I want to take this moment to actually quickly thank some people on my Patreon. I'm not going to go away just like immediately after this. I'm going to like finish this chapter as well. But I really want to thank a couple of patrons for helping me like set up this stream, setting it, like making sure this looks all right. And they include Cozy, who gave me huge technical support for actually like sorting all of this out. Like it was going to be literally my face, and then I was just gonna have to have Twitch open in the corner and like talk like that. And they've helped sort like the Twitch, the chat out, the fact that it's got like a nice off-white eggshell color. Love that, big fan. The fact that there's like the story below here, that's all like them as well. I want to thank Mercs for like helping out as well in the chat, as well as Dexstar 2000. They were helping out test out the chat, and Ori for not only helping out then but also helping for modding here now. They're like, thanks for taking 2 like hours out of your day to just like help out with the stream. That's really super cool. Thank you. You genuinely didn't need to do that at all, so I'm genuinely quite grateful. And also I'm going to quickly shout out just a couple of other patrons because this will end up being a video. So thank you so much to Adam Gable, Turhan Brace III, which is one of my favourite names on my whole Patreon, to be honest, Zeon, and Corinne Mayville. I hope I got all of them right. Thank you first and foremost by saying, like, oh, thank you guys. I'm not going to go just yet. I think I'm just going to, like, finish this chapter. Finish this chapter? Was there anything else to finish about this chapter? No, not really. This is the last chapter that I think I'll cover. So chapter 30, and then hopefully we'll get through the other 39 by the end. Join the Patreon to talk about personas of every character. A certain random guy. I will ban you from my Patreon. No, I won't. You're absolutely charming. Oh yeah, and again, like, big thank you to a certain random guy for lending me their copy of War of the Spark when I couldn't get my own, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to make the speedrun video at all. Or this is like, so thanks to them. Was there anything else to finish? There were 60. Yeah, there were 69 chapters. What are your? Oh, you got to make that Yawgmoth cosplay. I am actually reading. Okay, so I'm currently reading Superior by Angela Saini in preparation for a future video on Yawgmoth, and it is a fascinating read. It is deeply depressing. It was recommended to me by someone on Twitter, Dr. Lorraine, someone, I can't quite remember, but they recommended it to me. I've been reading through it, and it is amazing. It genuinely, some of the stuff in here I had absolutely no idea about. I'd read you an extract, but I'll save that for another video. But like, highly recommend this book, absolutely. If you want to read something that like has like a lot of like real world actual like implications and ramifications, read this. I would recommend, if you want to buy like the War of the Spark novel, go ahead and buy the War of the Spark novel. It's a fine read. It's not groundbreaking. It's not the worst Magic the Gathering story that I've ever written. Wait a minute, I just take off my mask. I'm Greg Wiseman. Sorry, Magic story that I've ever read even. But yeah, like I will be doing the Yawgmoth cosplay. I'm testing out different beard types. I think I've got to completely shave for it. But yeah, I think I'll call it there. But I will put this up obviously on YouTube. Probably in like a couple of days. I might do a tiny edit on it, just to make it look nice. But thank you all so much for thanks for being on my first stream. This has been genuinely super fun and interesting. I had no idea like this was going to turn out this way. I was scared. Twitch was a mistake. Oh yeah, I'm calling it Twitch. I'm gonna parody like a Destiny thumbnail. I'll just be like going and just have like all of you guys talking about how much you want to shag Ugin. Why? What happened?